Hey everybody, it's Mike here with Lone Wolf Firearm Training, and today on Gun Training 101 we're going to go over key fundamental. One of the most important initial fundamentals when first drawing a handgun is grip and hold control. Alright, so one of the key fundamentals, grip and hold control, like I said at the beginning, is what we're going to work on today. A lot of people that I come across within training with our business is a lot of the problems is their actual grip, how they're holding their firearm. It's one of the easiest fixes, so that's what we're going to start with when we go over our key fundamentals. Today we're going to do grip hold control. We're going to work on trigger control, follow through, aiming, sight alignment, sight picture, all that stuff. Now, initially the way that I teach proper grip, there's been methods over the years, and if you watch back 30-40 years ago, they've changed since then. You have a lot of high-speed, low-drag competition shooters, military law enforcement shooters, and the more studying and training that everyone's done, the more we've realized there's way more options and better options for managing recoil. Your goal with the proper grip is consistency and accuracy. You want to be able to grip that pistol so every follow-up shot you can maintain consistency and accuracy and limit movement. So just to show you real quick what I'm talking about, single grip on the gun. Now the way I teach is anywhere that there's empty space on that gun allows movement. A lot of the things that we see wrong initially with first time shooters is they'll hold the pistol too low. Now if you can see that gap, that's room for movement. Okay, so the first thing we always teach is get up in there tight. I usually put a gun in a student's hand, have them hold it one-handed, and I'll fix the one hand first before we add the second. Now as pertaining to the second hand, if you notice there's a bunch of empty space there. The way that I teach and that I personally use and recommend is actually laying that palm right in there. Now the two main variants that I see a lot lately are thumbs forward, which is basically how I'm holding and the way I like, or you'll see people with thumbs down. Neither of which are right or wrong, it's just what's more comfortable with you. The ones that we try to avoid and try to fix are crossing thumbs. A lot of first time shooters, I'll see them put a hand back here, which if you know is a big no-no. You don't want a slide bite coming back. So we want to try to get evenly pressed forward. Now, even manner is one of the biggest keys. When grabbing your firearm, you want your knuckles to line up. So if you were to take your hands and lay knuckle over knuckle and bend like that, okay, I have an even pressure pull on my first middle joint. And that's what we want to encourage. As you're gripping your firearm and pressed out, you have even pressure. One of the other common mistakes we see is this. Now, this is kind of old school television western where you see them put like the cup, the bottom. Now, this method, yeah, it's like the old school grandpa's method, but generally when we're training and we see someone doing it, it's quick to show them the disadvantage. And the main disadvantage is controlling your firearm properly and managing recoil. When you only have one hand basically full grip on the gun and the cup under, you have this hand's not to help with the recoil. Oftentimes I'll see people cheat halfway up and do this. It's the same thing. You have slack, you have gap. Your goal is to close that gap and get it tight. Okay, everything should be pressed tight in an even manner. That way when you come with a follow-up shot, if you're double tapping or controlled pairs or whatever the hell you call it, you need to have proper control on your firearm to bring the muzzle back onto the target. And the better your grip is, the quicker you can be, the more accurate you can be, the smoother you can be. That's really the main thing we teach with grip. Now, one of the other key fundamental mistakes that I notice often with pistol coaching is when someone is gripping their firearm after each shot, they tend to milk the gun. Okay, now milking the gun, what that is as I press out, engage the target, they move their hands. Okay, your grip from the time you draw your firearm or pick up a firearm from a table, whatever it may be, this hand should not change until it goes back into its holster. Your support hand, same thing. Once you've joined together, that does not change. the more you can limit movement, the more accurate you're going to be. If between every shot I engage and then I move, I have to realign everything. Okay, there's a lot of steps. You have your hold control, you have your trigger control, you have your breath control, sight alignment and follow through. You want to keep everything consistent. The only thing that should be changing is your trigger finger coming in and out and realigning your sights. If you're instinctive, then you don't worry about that. So even press, keep the palms pressed in, even squeeze. You don't have to kill the gun. Your knuckles don't need to be white, but you need even pressure with both hands. Now, when I say even pressure with both hands, I mean inward. What I also like a lot, and I know a lot of guys do this too, we call it 80-20. 80-20 is 80% push, 20% pull. Now that's not 100% of my strength, that's just my output strength that I'm using to maintain and manage this gun. If you're a new shooter, the first time you pick it up, you're gonna go 80-20, okay, engage your target and realize, hey, I need to push, pull a little bit harder. What this does is allows you to keep your muzzle down and allows for quicker follow-up shots. But that's the basics of a grip. Things to avoid, like I said, crossing the thumb behind, crossing over the thumbs, cupping the gun. Okay, line those knuckles up, even placement here or here, whatever it may be. Press, pull, okay? You can bend the arms if you're doing like a weaver, okay, that's this. If you're doing isosceles where you're more locked out, that's fine, but if you notice, my hands didn't change between the two. Okay, you're maintaining consistency, consistency, consistency. Make a habit of every time you draw that firearm, you go to your grip. Okay, proper grip, proper hold control, consistency not changing. Now I'm going to show you what happens when shooters milk the gun. If you notice, there's a lack in time. They're going to move their hands. This constantly happens because there's range shooters. People go to the range and they practice target shooting. They don't practice defensive combat. If they're concealed carry holder, whatever it may be, they're focused on target shooting. They're not focusing on speed, accuracy, and consistency. You need to maintain that grip. Okay, the next one, I'm going to show you guys the cup with the cup under, how the recoil is going to manage. If you notice, there's a little bit more muzzle jump, okay, because I don't have my offhand to support. Alright, so to finish out, once again, the proper grip. Okay, minimize muzzle jump, consistency on target, which allows for better accuracy. Alright, thanks for joining me, everybody. Stay tuned for more fundamental videos. This is Mike from Lone Wolf Firearm Training here with Gun Training 101. Have a great day.